My name is Alexander of Macedon, son of Philip, student of Aristotle, king of Greece, conqueror of Asia, and servant only to destiny itself. I have crossed deserts and mountains, toppled cities and empires, carried by an army that believed I was chosen by the gods. But there was a day at Gaugamela when even I, Alexander, felt the breath of uncertainty upon my neck. A day when the world's greatest empire rose to crush me, and the fate of all I had built hung upon a single charge. Look into my eyes, and you will see what I saw. The dust, the thunder, and the moment when the King of Kings turned and fled. It was the year 331 before Christ. The Achaemenid Empire still towered over the world, its borders stretching from the Aegean to the Indus. At its head stood Darius III, who after Issus had summoned every province to his banner. Persians, Medes, Babylonians, Egyptians, and Indians. A living empire of nations gathered on the wide, open plain of Gaugamela, a field he chose for one purpose: to destroy me where his chariots and elephants could run free. My army was small beside his, barely 47,000 men, but they were veterans of a dozen victories, hardened by mountains, deserts, and storms. They had crossed continents with me, believing that destiny walked at our side. To them I said only, "This battle will not make us rich. It will make us eternal." At dawn, the horizon burned like copper. The Persian host stretched across the plain in shimmering ranks, their formations so vast they seemed to merge with the horizon itself. Spears bristled like a forest of iron. Banners snapped in the wind. The colors of nations, languages, and gods all gathered under the command of a single man. The scythed chariots were lined in front, their wheels fitted with blades meant to tear through flesh and bone. Behind them, elephants loomed like living towers, their armored hides gleaming with morning dew. No king before me had ever faced such a force. My generals whispered warnings. They feared the numbers, feared the ground, feared the weight of the empire that stood across from us. Some urged a night attack, others wanted to reposition south. But I dismissed them all. I wanted the world to witness what Macedon could do under the open sun. I wanted Darius to see me coming, to feel the inevitability of the moment tightening around him like a noose. And above all, I wanted my men to fight not with shadows at their feet, but with the gods themselves watching from the heavens. We formed our line, the phalanx in the center, unbreakable and disciplined. The Salians on the left under trusted Parmenion. My companion cavalry on the right with me, the blade that would decide the fate of the world. Silence fell. Even the wind seemed to still. In that moment before impact, the world felt weightless, as if history itself held its breath. Then I gave the signal. The Persian chariots came first. They hurtled forward with terrifying speed, blades flashing, horses screaming as they tore up the earth. Dust exploded behind them in golden plumes. My archers loosed. Arrows darkened the sky and fell like rain, piercing flesh, severing reins, splintering wheels. Some chariots crashed into each other. Others skidded into pits our engineers had dug in the night. Yet many still broke through, forcing gaps in the line. Soldiers leapt aside or braced their shields, feeling the wind of the blades pass inches from their faces. And then the Persian infantry surged forward. A tide of men roaring with 1,000 voices, their feet thundering across the plain. The ground trembled beneath them. "Hold!" I shouted, riding along the front. "Hold the line!" The phalanx braced. Sarissas lowered in a single deadly motion. The crash, when they struck us, was like mountains colliding. Men screamed, spears snapped, shields splintered. But my phalanx, my iron wall, held. Wave after wave smashed against them, yet every time the Persians recoiled, our spears lunged forward, driving deeper into the mass of bodies pressing against us. I saw pockets of struggle forming along the line, small units breaking off, isolated by the chariots. But even there, my men fought with the discipline of wolves. They closed formation, stepped as one, and turned every moment of chaos into a chance to kill. Still, I felt the strain growing. Darius was testing every weakness, probing every seam. He meant to smother us with sheer numbers, and he nearly succeeded. Then, through the dust and roar, I saw it, a mistake. A small one, but fatal. Darius had stretched his left flank far too wide in an attempt to envelop Parmenion. In doing so, he opened a gap, a narrow corridor between his center and his left. It was all I needed. A single crack in a great wall through which destiny could burst like lightning. I raised my spear. "Companions!" My voice cut through the storm. "With me, now!" Bucephalus lunged forward. My cavalry formed a wedge around me. We rode not at men, but at the very heart of an empire. The world became a blur of dust and bronze. My spear struck the first shield and shattered it. Blood sprayed across my armor. The sound, gods, the sound! The ripping of metal, the gasping of men, the thunder of hooves hammering the earth. We burst through the gap like a spear thrust through flesh. And there, through the haze, I saw him. Darius. He stood tall upon his chariot, golden crown glinting in the sun, surrounded by the immortals. His elite guard. We locked eyes. One heartbeat. One silent, eternal moment. Then he turned. He fled. The King of Kings abandoned his throne, and in doing so unwove the very fabric of his empire. Panic swept the Persian lines. A tremor became a quake. A quake became a collapse. Men screamed and dropped their weapons. Elephants turned and crushed their own handlers. Chariots overturned and burned. The vast army that had stood like a wall of iron fell apart like sand under a rising tide. My soldiers pressed forward, driving the rout until nightfall. The dust turned red. The air tasted of metal and fire. The sun sank behind a plain littered with the fallen, Persian and Macedonian alike. When silence finally returned, Gaugamela was ours. And with it, the world. In Babylon, they crowned me Lord of Asia. Priests sang hymns to my name. Cities opened their gates without resistance. Gold, incense, silks, and tribute poured into my hands like rivers into the sea. But at night, when the torches dimmed and the halls grew quiet, I felt no triumph. I thought of the men who had ridden beside me, who now lay beneath foreign soil. I thought of the faces of Persians who had fought with a bravery worthy of remembrance. Victory is a bright crown, but its shadow is long. And I walked forever within that shadow. And so I sit upon this throne, surrounded by the spoils of the world, and I ask myself what remains for a man who has everything except rest. History will call me Alexander the Great, but greatness is a lonely kingdom. Remember this when you speak my name. The world was won on the plains of Gaugamela, but the price was paid in the souls of men. I am Alexander, and this was the Battle of Gaugamela. If you would walk beside me through more battles, if you would see history through the eyes of those who shaped it, then stay close. For though this victory is great, my journey is far from over.